So, what's the topic for today? It's why do we celebrate? And the other half is even more interesting, even if we don't feel like. Yeah. So that's much more interesting, even when we don't feel like. Okay. So let's start with how do we celebrate? Why do we celebrate? What's the origin of celebration? How did it all start? Okay. How do we celebrate? Why do we celebrate? And what is the significance of celebration? Why should one celebrate even when you don't feel like celebrating? Okay. So let's begin with this. Why do we celebrate and what is celebration? How did it all start? So if you go back to thousands of years, okay, in the process of evolution, now we live in an industrialized age. Not even industrialized, now we live in an information age. Okay. Earlier it used to be industrialized age of industrialization. Earlier than that, it was the age of agriculture. And earlier than that, it was the age of hunting and gathering, right? So that was the process, right? That's the process of evolution. That is how we humans have evolved over a period of time. So let's go back to the age of hunting and gathering. Okay, so if you think about that age, I mean, whatever glimpses, the reading or whatever pictures that we see, we would know this that they used to every single day. Okay, the tribes would at the end of the day sing and dance. They would have a song, they would have a dance. So after all the hunting, gathering, eating, they would get together around a fire. Yeah, always a fire. They would get. I'll also explain you the significance of it. They'll get around a fire, and they would sing and they would dance every single day. Yeah. So were they fools? Were they like foolish? They had nothing to do, and they just wanted to sing and dance like out of no reason. Of course not. They were much more wiser and much more connected and in tune with nature than us. Yeah. They realized that, every single day, number one, the reason for celebration is every single day is a reason to celebrate because you're alive. The very fact that you are alive, okay, you've not met with an accident or you're not dead or, you're able to celebrate is a good enough reason, number one, to celebrate. You don't need bigger reasons. So they realize that every single day you need to celebrate that day. What would they celebrate? Celebrating for the food that they got. We had this prayer in the school, thank you God for the food we eat and thank you God for the, do you remember this? We had this prayer every, most of us had it in school. Yeah, so they used to simply thanking for the food that they had, the water that they got. Okay, so they would just sing and dance. So that was the reason why they celebrated. But now why singing and dancing? So if you think about celebration, most, in fact, all the celebrations involve some kind of sound, that is singing, some kind of movement, dancing, right? So even today, बैसाखी हो या कुछ भी हो, तो वहां पे singing और dance तो जरूर होता है, right? So why? What is the significance of singing and dancing? हम लोग ने ये तो, like, this is what I explained, that the significance of celebration. Why did they celebrate every single day? But how did they celebrate? By singing and dancing. Why? Okay, so the reason is sound is a form of energy, right? In the Bible they said first came the word was with the God, the word was God, right? In Hindu they believe everything was created out of Om, the sound Om, right? Even in Muslim, they believe, yeah, there's a lot of importance given to sound. So there's azan, right? It's a sound, it's a call to the God that we've woken up to you, right? So basically, sound has this importance in all religions across the board, right? And the tribals also, if you think about it, the tribals had a peculiar sound. Okay, they used to make a lot of sound, animalistic sounds, right? During the singing and dancing, if you think about it, the tribals had this animalistic steps, okay, very much animal like, and they used to make a lot of sounds. They used to imitate the birds and the bees and the creatures around them, because they realized sound is the form of energy which is the fastest way to transport yourself, because sound is the origin of universe has been, it's believed that has been created out of sound. That's the belief even they held. Just that's the belief even they held, right? So they use sound, okay, to transport themselves. And why sound? Because they use it in a they picked up a peculiar sound because it had a peculiar a specific, not peculiar but specific frequency. Okay, they were the sounds did not make sense to her, but it had a specific frequency. The specific frequency helped them, okay, to elevate the energy level. The specific frequency, I think Lawrence sir explains a lot about sound healing and sound, right? He talks a lot about sound. So there's a specific frequency at which the the songs were being made, composed. The mantras are also being composed. The music in the church also is being composed. Okay, the way the azan and the clarion, the call is also the even the clarion call at the battlefield is also composed, you know, at a specific frequency to basically arouse different kind of emotions in you and to elevate the energy at different levels. Are you getting till here? Are you getting why the prominence of sound, so much of importance given to sound? So that was the sound. Why the dancing thing? Dancing is basically it gets you in a deepened state. It makes you more alive. It makes you, okay, it gets you in tandem with the sound energy. Okay, the movement of your body helps release dopamine. That is the feel good hormone, neurotransmitter that makes you feel good. So when you dance, you really feel good. Have you realized this? Any kind of movement also makes you feel good. Exercise is an example. So any form of dance is nothing but exercise done in a rhythmic way. Just now you learned, right? It was such a beautiful bhangra ka music time. The steps were being shown as broken into different forms of steps in exercise, and it was so good to hear while, you know, the dadi was performing the bhangra in such a rhythmic and beautiful way. It was nothing, it was sound and dance movement. So any and all kind of celebrations primarily involve sound and any kind of different kinds of movement. Are you all till here? So they celebrated every single day. Then we got into agriculture. Agriculture में क्या हुआ? They used to celebrate what? Sowing season. Every community has a sowing season worldwide. जब sow करते हैं, they celebrate because you've sown the seeds in the earth, which is like, okay, it's like, you know what? When you conceive, when a female conceives, how happy the female is and the family is. It's the same way the earth has conceived. So how happy would the earth be? And then you partake in the happiness of the earth. The earth is really happy because the earth is fertile, ready to deliver, and you've sown the seed. So Baisakhi may you have the song and dance about Baisakhi. Then in Kerala you would have different Onam and so different festivals. Festival is a type of cultural celebration. So there were different festivals being observed, and the festivals were being observed actually keeping in mind the movement of sun and the moon. So if you think about it, the Lent ho या you know Muslim के भी रोजा हो या ईद हो, वो everything is according the movement of either the moon or the sun, depending on solar and lunar calendar that you follow, right? Either you follow the lunar calendar, which is the movement of the moon, 15 days and 15 days. That makes the 30 day of a month. We follow lunar, right? इसलिए 30 days होता है ना, 15 days cycle of ascension and 15 days cycle of descension. So all the festivals, you know, are being observed, okay, according to the movement of either the moon or the sun, right? You have Passover. Jews ka Passover is nothing but wo March May, April May, when the sun moves into the first sign of Aries. जब सन एरीज में मूव होता है, इट इज कॉल्ड पास ओवर. व्हाई? बिकॉज द सन विंटर खत्म हुआ एंड नाउ इट इज टाइम फॉर समर. तो पास ओवर हुआ एंड पीपल आर हैप्पी बिकॉज विंटर इज ओवर एंड समर इज व्हाट? द टाइम फॉर sowing the seeds. So if you think about it, we celebrated everything. We humans celebrated earlier, we celebrated everything. We celebrated the trees, we celebrated the water, the rivers, we celebrated the sun, we celebrated the food. Didn't we? It was so beautiful, right? You celebrated everything around you. And why the celebration? Because celebration reminds you of the importance. Any kind of celebration reminds you of the importance of people, events, things that is important for your life. Yeah. You know who got the party started? Who celebrated the birthdays? The first ones to celebrate the birthdays. You know how did it come about? Kaise wo aaya? Egyptian were the first ones to celebrate the birthdays. That is how the concept of birthday जो हम celebrate करते हैं ना आज, they got the party rolling and started. How the pharaohs, the kings of the Egyptian kings called as pharaohs. Okay, some people call it pharaohs and different pronunciation to it. But whatever, the pharaohs were, they were considered to be the reincarnation of God. Okay, so their birthday was celebrated not as they are humans, but they are gods. So their birthday was celebrated. That is how the celebration of birthday came about, and that is how we got all celebrating birthdays. So we are thankful to the Egyptians for every year our birthday celebration. You know, we didn't even know how are we linked to each other. Somebody celebrating the birthday in Canada or Antarctica has got the root of birthday in Egypt. Africa, any which way, is the cradle of civilization, right? Everything started from Africa and it just spread, right? Even the evolution, everything was started from Africa, the continent of Africa. So that is how we celebrate the birthdays. Okay. Now, are you all here? The history of celebration, that how did we started celebrating? Now, why is celebration important to for people like us? Say people like Pushpa ma'am or Seerat ma'am or Rehana ma'am, or why is it important? Why should we celebrate even when we don't feel like celebrating? Why? Why should we go? Any response from you all? Yes.
For happiness, for get together and happiness.
Get
together also.
Very important, get together. I'll come to this point, get together. I'll keep this in mind because there's a point there. I'll get to it. Yeah, get together, getting together, happiness. Rehana ma'am, you need to unmute yourself. Rehana ma'am,
change of routine life.
Very good. Yeah, change of place, change of routine life. Very well. Yes. All the reasons that change of place, meeting new people, meeting your friends and family. Any more reasons? Just think of it. Why do we celebrate? Anything that comes to your mind. Jane ma'am, you need to unmute yourself, ma'am.
We feel sorry. We feel happy when we mix about with everybody. Exchange of ideas, exchange of everything.
Yes, happiness is on the topmost, right? Happiness. You feel happy. Yeah. So why do we celebrate is when we don't feel like is because again you said no, like a lot of people get together. Pushpa ma'am, the word actually comes from the word celebratus. Celebratus is a Latin word meaning in great numbers. When you are in great numbers or when you frequent something, okay, it comes from the word celebratus and hence the English word celebration. Okay, so what happens is when you celebrate, okay, it is you celebrate with people. So usually, mostly you have your friends and family, sometimes even the strangers party. So you have a congregation of your friends and family. Number one, the very fact we are being called as social animals. We are animals, but then there is also a word, okay, before that, which is said social animal, right? And the social animal, why are we called as social animals? Because we need company. No matter how much we say that we like loneliness, and it's true, you can like your loneliness, you can like your alone time, which is different from loneliness. But once in a while, we all have this urge of going out and meeting people.
Meeting people.
Even if not meeting, then just looking at other faces, just going for a walk. right?
Yeah.
Just a minute, very sorry for that. So, yeah, so where were we?
Get together.
Yeah, so it's like you meet your friends and family. See what happens when you meet somebody else. What is the primary reason, one should meet somebody else?
Sharing thoughts.
Yeah,
Sharing happiness and thoughts.
sharing happiness, yeah. But there's something else also which happens when you meet somebody else. What is it that happens when you meet somebody else?
Energy
You think
transfer.
energy transfer, of course, yes. So it's very, very important, whom do you meet? Yeah, what happens is
हैप्पीनेस खुश होते हैं ना,
खुश हो जाते
sharing
हैं,
ideas,
खुशी होती है, हाँ खुशी होती है,
खुशी होती है, शेयरिंग आइडियाज. बट
एकदम
प्राइमरी, हाँ,
शांत हो जाता, दिमाग शांत हो जाता है एकदम मिलकर. पिछला सब भूल जाते हैं अपन जब फ्रेंड से मिलते हैं तो.
पिछला सब भूल जाते हैं. यस, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. पिछला सब भूल जाते हैं, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. बट सबसे ज्यादा हम उतने टाइम के लिए खुद को कम इम्पोर्टेंस देते हैं.
हाँ,
एंड इन अ वेरी राइट वे. खुद को इम्पोर्टेंस हमेशा देना चाहिए, बट खुद को जो इम्पोर्टेंस देते हैं ना, इन अ रॉन्ग वे, फोकसिंग टू मच ऑन योर सेल्फ, in a wrong way, that is in an incorrect way, as in, how do I put it, focusing too much on your ego and what the ego needs. उससे that anxiety का birth होता है. Focusing too much. See, when you don't have people around you, what would you do? The mind is a monkey. Monkey needs some branch to hold on to. ना कोई branch तो चाहिए. So what happens is that monkey starts thinking too much about itself कि मेरी tail बराबर नहीं है. Okay.
yes,
I'm not good at this. And we usually have the tendency of thinking about destructive thoughts rather than constructive thoughts when we are all by ourselves, because we've not trained ourselves in constructive thoughts. तो क्या होता है जब हम अकेले होते हैं, तो क्या होता है, we either go to past, and not in the past में beautiful memories, we go to the past. Shit यार, मैंने ये किया होता तो अच्छा होता, मैंने उसको ये नहीं बोला होता तो अच्छा होता, मैंने ये थोड़ा डिफरेंटली बिहेव किया होता तो शायद मेरी डॉटर इन लॉ डिफरेंटली बिहेव करती, या माय हस्बैंड डिफरेंटली बिहेव करता. सो वी यूजुअली हैव अ टेंडेंसी टू थिंक अबाउट नेगेटिव पैटर्न्स, राइट?
yes,
है ना? which is wrong, and which should be changed, because one needs to spend time with oneself, which is very, very important. But at the same time, escape is also required. Meeting other people is an escape, क्योंकि उतने टाइम के लिए what happens is you start focusing on
सब भूल
others.
गए. Okay.
But you know what, but sadly we start focusing on others. मतलब क्या करते हैं, जैसा हम खुद के लिए नेगेटिव करते हैं वैसा हम दूसरों के लिए चालू कर देते हैं. When we celebrate, which is very wrong, right? When we celebrate, what do? Then we start bothering about others. Oh, she did not wear the right dress. Oh, she was talking so loudly. वो funeral में थे, but what did you see? The person did not even cry. So we start judging others. So the problem is we really don't know how to celebrate. The problem is celebration में भी हम लोग क्या करते हैं? Criticism, judgment. Yeah, which should not be the case. What is the true way to celebrate? The true way to celebrate is not judging yourself, not judging others, being in the moment. Being in the moment. Singing songs. इसीलिए जो पार्टीज होती है उसमें हम लोग गाना रखते हैं, डांस रखते हैं, ताकि क्या है, वी फॉरगेट आवरसेल्व्स इन म्यूजिक, है ना? So what is a party? Just think of it. What's a birthday party if there are no songs, if there is no dance? How boring would that party be? सबको खाली बड़बड़ बड़बड़ करना है तो कितना बोरिंग हो जाएगा, है ना? And only eating, and eating, and then after eating criticizing the food.
Yeah.
Yes.
which we most of us do, right? After attending marriages, what we do is mostly talk about food and clothes, right? Unfortunately so. So you know what, the right way to celebrate is music is a way which connects people. So if you have live music going on, have you observed people are just immersed if the music is good? People forget about the world. They are immersed with the songs. Or either if you're dancing. For example, अगर रजिया मैम को गरबा पसंद है फॉर एग्जाम्पल, और अगर गरबा का म्यूजिक चालू किया और रजिया मैम ने गरबा किया, तो रजिया मैम विल फॉरगेट अबाउट द वर्ल्ड एंड बी इन्वॉल्वड इन द
Yes.
गरबा. So much
Yes.
so that for that half an hour, 1 hour of garba playing, it's like meditation. It's like you forget. The whole purpose of celebration is to forget yourself in the right way, to let go of your ego
तो
and the ego identity, है ना?
हाँ, वो सीनियर से सीनियर आदमी जगह पे बैठ के झूमेगा कम से कम, नहीं उठेगा तो झूमेगा जरूर.
पर रजिया मैम
झूमेगा.
झूमने, हाँ झूमने में भी कितना मजा आता है कि नहीं? अगर डांस
हाँ,
नहीं
वही
भी
तो भूल
किया,
जाएगा. मतलब ये कि
हाँ.
वो म्यूजिक में ही मोह हो गया ना.
हाँ, टैपिंग द फीट. आपने कभी देखा है जो डांस नहीं करता है और जिसको डांस करना हो, मे बी शाय हो या तो वो फीट को टैप करता है, फिंगर्स को टैप करते हैं, बिकॉज
हाँ,
दे आर
या
सो
हाथ को टैप करता है.
हाथ को टैप करते हैं ना, बिकॉज दे आर
Yes.
इन्वॉल्वड इन द म्यूजिक.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is the
Correct.
reason music is being used. अगर बैसाखी को हो तो वो भांगड़ा करते हैं. How how have the folk dances evolved? Folk dances have evolved out of this either religious festivals or this cultural festivals. So कुचिपुड़ी, भरतनाट्यम, ये सब डांसेस कहाँ से शुरू हुए? टेम्पल से शुरू हुए. हाँ, सूफी का जो ये सूफियाना डांस होता है ना, वो जो ट्वर्ल करते हैं, स्वर्ल करते हैं ना, दैट सूफी डांस होता है ना, वो भी कहाँ से? वो रिलीजन वहां से इवॉल्व. भांगड़ा कहाँ से इवॉल्व हुआ? भांगड़ा इवॉल्व हुआ बैसाखी से, जब जो सेलिब्रेट करते हैं. लावणी, लावणी इज अ मराठी टर्म. लावायच्या, लावायच्या मतलब सो. मी लावले, हे लावले म्हणजे लावणी इज लाइक सोइंग. द वर्ड लिटरली मीन्स सोइंग. एंड लावणी का डांस है ना, वो लावणी करते हैं ना, वो दैट वो नहीं होता है जुम, दैट इज लावणी. लावणी कब करते हैं? सोइंग सीजन में वो लोग लावणी करते हैं. जस्ट थिंक, वी डोंट थिंक दिस, है ना, लावणी करते हैं. तो तभी ओनम का भी वैसे ही है. सो ऑल द रिलीजन्स, ऑल द फेस्टिवल्स गेव बर्थ टू व्हाट? सॉन्ग एंड डांस. Song and dance is a way to celebrate life. And do you think सिर्फ humans celebrate करते हैं? What do you think? Do you think it extends to birds and beasts also?
Yes.
Just a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think birds celebrate?
Yes.
Of course they do.
चहकती है ना.
Yes.
चिड़िया चहकती है, मोर नाचता
चहकती
है.
है, मोर नाचता है, मोर celebrates the arrival of the rain. हाँ, कोयल गाती है,
कोयल गाती है.
that is the mating call. हाँ,
मौसम अच्छा रहा तो.
और मेटिंग कॉल होता है, कितना ब्यूटीफुल होता है. वहां तो कितना एफर्ट डालना पड़ता है बॉयफ्रेंड गर्लफ्रेंड को ढूंढने के लिए, कि वो मेटिंग कॉल होता है ना. दे हैव टू कम अप विद ब्यूटीफुल सॉन्ग्स. अदरवाइज वो सामने वाले, वो जो मेल कोयल को क्या बोलते हैं, मेल कुकू होता है, वो तो चूज ही नहीं करेगा. अरे फीमेल कुकू मेल कुकू को चूज ही नहीं करेगी.
Yes.
In fact, see, although they have to put in so much of effort, that's also celebrating life. They are celebrating life. It's a mating call that let's get together, procreate, and celebrate life. So birds be very beautiful. Birds be dance करते हैं, right? Birds, animals, they all celebrate in their own way. Do you think we humans are the only species that celebrate? Of course not. In fact, most of our celebration songs and dances have come from birds and observing birds and animals. बीहू डांस होता है, वो जो बीहू हो, पता है? और ये उड़ीसा में बीहू डांस करते हैं, which is like this is Assam. This way.
Odisha, Assam,
Yeah.
Assam.
हाँ, Orissa, Assam. There is this. The movement is this. What is this? The way an animal or a bird would move. Peacock को जो देखा ना feathers, so all the if you look at the steps. Okay, if you observe the steps closely, it's mostly imitating the nature. Imitating the nature and following the rhythm of nature. जो nature का एक rhythm होता है ना, वो follow करते हैं. That's the reason they say Africans. Okay, Africans are the best dancers. World में जो black लोग जो dance कर सकते हैं ना, वो कोई, because they have this keen sense of rhythm. They follow the nature and they have the sense of rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything has a rhythm. If you hear the sounds, na, everything has a rhythm. So celebration is such a wonderful thing. Celebration gives you memories. आपकी memory bank में वो deposit करता है. You would go back to the birthday celebration happened 20 years back, and you would distinctly remember how you celebrated it with your friends and your family, or the special anniversary that you were being gifted something beautiful, or a good gesture made by your friend, by your husband, by your son,
Yeah.
right? क्या वो memory bank को full करता है, that is how we need to actually, this is very important, we really need to visualize कि एक memory bank है हमारे पास, all of us. Start from today that you have a memory bank and you have to fill it. Believe me, the interest is so beautiful. कोई फिक्स डिपॉजिट इतना इंटरेस्ट नहीं देता है, या कोई म्यूचुअल फंड्स ऐसा इंटरेस्ट नहीं देगा जितना if you fill your memory bank with some beautiful memories. How do we fill it? By getting together with friends. And getting together is nothing but celebrating. So ऐसा जरूरी भी नहीं है कि you celebrate all the important events. What about celebration of achievements? And what even about celebration of death? Let's talk about death. Even funeral is a pay service होती है, right? There's a service at church. There are other services when somebody passes away. Tribal में, we were talking about the tribes. So tribes में क्या होता था? Even when somebody was dead, somebody would die, they would sing and dance. They would cry their heart out. They would just cry, and then they would sing and dance. That is the way of paying homage. That is a way of paying your tribute. We also have funeral service where you celebrate the death. It is not mourning of the. If you think about the service, if you think about the wordings जो है उसमें, then it is basically what? That the person enjoyed the life. Let the person go to the other realm and celebrate. Let's celebrate the passing away. We say no, he passed away. We say he passed away. Passing is moving from one place to another, right? Otherwise, it would not have been passing. Passing means that you cross over from one place to another. So you celebrate at the end of the journey in human form, and then starting the journey in maybe some other form. So you also celebrate death. It's not just you celebrate life. We also all the traditions and cultures celebrate the death, because they feel that it's the end of one season or this thing, and moving on to something else, moving on to something better, something different. So that is also not a reason to cry, but a reason to celebrate. That is, they realized it.
That's what we believe. No, death is not the end. It's only passing away from one life to the other.
Yes, it's a beautiful. Of course, it's not the end.
It's not the end. It's only passing away from one life to the other.
See, they say we are energy beings, right? And according to science, energy is never destroyed. It cannot be created. It cannot be destroyed. It just changes the form. Science says this. Science says this. We are energy, right? Energy as in what? I'm not talking in spiritual terms. We are energy. We are biochemical energy. We have electricity. The brain functions on electricity. Your body works on chemicals, chemical energy. So we have different forms of energy. We are a form of energy. And science says this, that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It just changes the form. So of course we change the form, but we do not get totally destroyed or dead. It is just passing over. So even they knew this. They knew this, and hence they celebrated even death. And when you start celebrating death in your mind, the fear of death goes away, which is the biggest cause of fear that prevents you from celebrating once you start advancing in age. Because that is, after crossing 60, that really, even subconsciously, that kind of is in your mind. So that I'm moving towards the end. I'm moving towards the end. Don't say that you're moving towards the end. It's a journey. It's a journey. जो होना है वही होगा. The only thing is you don't die before death. You don't die before death, and hence the need for celebration. कि मरने से पहले तो नहीं मरना है ना. You don't want to live like a dead person, right? With no interest, no passion, है ना? No need of. मतलब जब समझो कि जब म्यूजिक बज रहा है और आपको कुछ फीलिंग ही ना आए, you are becoming dead. इतना प्यारा म्यूजिक सुन के अगर आपको कोई अंदर से एक फीलिंग ही ना आए कि it's such a beautiful music, wow, ये wow फीलिंग जब चली जाए ना, that is the sign that you are dying. And that is the sign, a wake up call that you need to get up, you need to make friends, You need to move out. Okay, you need to train yourself again to be joyous and happy. हमको लगता है कि it's not a training, it is a training. How to be happy is a training. Like how we train ourselves, no? It's a training. You have to train yourself. वो लाफ्टर क्लब में क्या होता है? इनिशियली वो लाफ्टर में क्या बोलते हैं? फेक योर लाफ होता है ना लाफ्टर क्लब में. What do? You fake your laugh. Then you fake your laugh. There comes a stage when you actually start laughing.
Yes.
That fake laughter becomes real laughter ना. लोग फिर really हंसने लगते हैं. तो लाइफ में भी वैसा ही है. Train. And how do you train? Start celebrating. Very important. If you are not, start celebrating. Okay? Find out a small reason to call people over or to meet your friends. जरूरी नहीं है meeting over a coffee is also celebration. सब बड़ा सेलिब्रेशन तो हमेशा कभी होगा जब एनिवर्सरीज होगी या बर्थडे जो तो साल में एक ही बार आता है. What about other days? You just find out a reason, call up your friends and come over for dinner. Come over for a cup of coffee. Coffee बनाने में कितना टाइम लगता है? Yeah. When you call somebody over for a coffee 4 times, somebody else is also going to call you. Even if not 4 times, then at least once.
Just like yesterday was the match.
Yeah, such a beautiful, lovely match, right?
Yes.
Oh,
lovely match.
Lovely.
So,
One of
yesterday, how much we enjoyed.
Yeah,
We
your nail
celebrated.
biting match. People celebrated, right? And see, if you watch match all by yourself, just think of this, huh? And if you watch match with 10 other people, वो level of उसमें कितना फर्क पड़ जाता है, right? है ना, फर्क पड़ता है, right? So celebration is nothing but you can celebrate small events. Small events. You can celebrate over a coffee, over a dinner. Okay, if your friend has come from maybe abroad, or if your friend has come from some other place in India, just call them over. Find out reasons, or if not find out reasons, create reasons, because it really helps. Believe me, it helps. Okay, moving out of your I-ness, that is the ego identity, helps. You know, it actually saves you from anxiety, depression, focusing too much on the wrong aspects of life. It saves you at any age, not just senior citizen, but at any age. Okay, it actually also gives you a glimpse of, oh, the other person also has problems, but the other person is also enjoying. You learn the art. Usko bhi problems to sabko hai. See, when you meet other people, you do realize that life में आप अकेले ही नहीं हो कि जिसको problems है, सबको problems है. Forms different है.
How you take it.
सबको है problems. तो सबको problems और सब deal भी कर रहे हैं उसके साथ in their different ways. You learn. You share your learning. You pick up their learning. You share your learning. There's an exchange happening. इसीलिए go for a walk. Go to the park. कुछ नहीं तो if nearby park, go to the park, just sit and see how the birds enjoy and the butterflies. It's a beautiful sight, yeah. Just watching the trees, watching the flowers, watching the birds and the bees, celebrating life every single day. You take it for granted. Believe me, if the trees were to disappear, desert में आपको रख दे. Do you know this? Yeah, we are going to end it soon. Saleh has actually texted me twice. I just thought it would last longer, but celebration mein, okay, do you know this? Desert mein people wear colorful clothes. Have you observed this? Rajasthan ho ya kahin pe desert mein they tend to wear colorful clothes. Why? Because anyway it is so dry. Let us celebrate by wearing colors. Colors also is a part of celebration. Yeah, you have different colors for different celebrations, because colors also signify something. Okay, an arrival of a season or something or the other. Colors also signify. Funeral mein you wear black, right? Celebrations mein you mostly wear red, right? Because red is like what? Energy elevation. Black is something, but what? It absorbs every. It does not absorb any color. It just gives out all the colors. White you wear for peace, for meditation, because it absorbs all the other colors. Yeah, the 7 colors, that the 7 scene colors जो rainbow के होते हैं. So even colors are a significance of celebration. You wear particular color for a particular occasion. तो डेजर्ट में ये लोग ऐसा करते हैं, कलरफुल क्लोथ्स पहनते हैं. Why? Because they want to celebrate. Any which way everything is so brown and cactus ही है और कुछ है नहीं. So let us celebrate.
ठीक है.
है ना? So this was about celebration, and why should we celebrate when you don't feel like? Why? Purely because जो reasons पता है कि मूड अच्छा नहीं हो, लेकिन फिर जाते हैं ना तो हाफ एन आवर में मूड थोड़ा चेंज हो जाता है. Yeah. So I just thought about कि why do we celebrate when you don't feel like celebrating? So this is it for today's session. I hope that you call some.
Celebrate this very moment.
Celebrate the very
Thank
moment.
you.
Yes, Seerat. Yes, Seerat ma'am. Let's celebrate being together. Yeah, all of us.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
take care.
Thank you.
See you next
Bye.
week.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah. Take care. Love
Very
you all.
nice
Bye.
session. Very
Good
nice
night,
session.
Thank
Tejal.
you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.